Good afternoon, everyone. It's September 2nd at 4 o'clock. This is the Southampton Council on Aging Board meeting. Welcome. We are being recorded video and audio. So welcome very much. It's a remote meeting via Zoom. We'll call the meeting to order at 4:04. Okay, so Jim's minutes. Did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes?
Yep.
Yes.
There was one thing I wanted to mention.
There's one thing I wanted to mention.
Go ahead, Janet. I'm going to try
What?
to bring
I was going to just mention that Rini is not the president of the board, but the chair of the board.
Mhm.
Not that it's a big deal, but just for,
Oh, the select board?
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm just promoting you right along here.
Yeah, thank you. Like I said, I really appreciate your support, folks. When you're done with that, if you could just scroll to the last paragraph of the minutes.
Okay.
Reduced.
Oh, I guess I don't know if I said this, but I think to be more accurate, the last statement, when it said, Lori asked where she could obtain statistics related to COVID infections in Southampton, Maureen explained most data is collected by county, and that while DPH does post data for individual municipalities, the data is not always cumulative. I mean, it's cumulative, so it's not accurate because it also records people who already had it and then no longer. So I don't know how to say that differently, but I guess
Maybe
you
just-
feel
I
comfortable.
just say that the data is cumulative.
Cumulative.
Yeah, okay, good.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Anybody else?
Yes, I have one comment. On mine where it says, my hours have been reduced, not deduced.
Yeah, I saw
Okay.
that.
What paragraph am I in? Oh, administrative assistant. Okay. Is it up here?
Yeah, they have been reduced, not deduced.
Oh,
Just a typo.
yeah, I'm a terrible typer and a worse editor. So I appreciate the feedback.
Anything else from everybody? All right, do we have a motion here?
Make a motion that the minutes be accepted and amended.
Okay. Hi, Josie.
I second the motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, great. Thank you.
And I'm
So-
sorry to be late. I
Okay.
couldn't get in for a
Yeah,
while.
Nancy's having the same problem. I don't know.
It
why.
looks totally different from any Zoom entrance I've made before. And I do it like twice a week.
Yeah.
So anyway,
You
sorry.
have to have the number for the meeting and the password.
Right.
Yeah, well, I've never had to do that before, but
I haven't.
I know now.
Yeah.
Yeah, starting last month, we switched to the town account, and that's how the town account requires.
Ah.
So,
Uh-huh. You know, just as a question, as the meeting is open to the public, shouldn't it be an easier access? I mean, in other words, if I just wanted to join the meeting as a citizen, I wouldn't have the email that would give me the password and
but Jim, it's posted on the My Town Government website.
Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind.
So it is accessible to the public.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Can I just say something? This is Darlene.
Hi, Darlene. Yes.
Hi. I've been having a lot of trouble with Zoom today, so my screen freezes up a lot. So I'm not sure how this is going to work, but I'll stay on as long as I can.
Okay, that's fine. And again, maybe it's a Zoom thing today. I mean, everybody
I don't know.
seems to have gotten in,
Awful.
but okay. From you? Okay. Okay. John, we have a request for you to stay on once the meeting is over for a couple of minutes.
Sure.
And if it's before 5:30 when the next meeting begins in the household.
Okay.
Okay. It's just to talk about the bags.
Uh,
And if we lose each other, I'll call in the morning. Maybe we can talk in the morning.
Okay. Okay, I'm looking to see if, I don't see Nancy here yet.
She gave up. I doubt it.
Yeah. I haven't heard a text from her either, so hopefully I don't know. It was easier when I could use my own Zoom. But anyway, I couldn't record it, so that was a problem. So I'm going to just pass over the treasurer's report for the moment. And again, for everybody that maybe entered a little bit late, I had invited Karen Rousseau to join us today. We're
Everybody.
We're trying to encourage her to either become a member or an alternate. So be really nice to Karen.
Oh, it says Tony, so you're Karen. Okay. Nice to meet
Yeah.
you.
We thank you. Nice to meet you too. We've got to fix that.
Glendale Road is taking over the place.
Yes, Glendale Road is in charge.
Hey, Karen,
Okay.
there's actually, I worked with a nurse that was Karen Rousseau. She's the director of AIC program.
Oh, really? Is
Yeah.
it spelled the same way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I was
that's
actually
interesting.
looking to say, so anyway, hi, welcome.
Hi. Thank you.
So, good. Let me see, what else do we have? So we have the director's report. Do people have that in front of them, or do they need me to share it?
I have it.
I don't have it in front of me. I'm
Actually,
sorry.
was that sent out today?
Second
John?
time. It was sent out a second time, I guess.
Yeah, Joan sent it out, and then I sent it out this morning, probably, Rini, so.
Okay, all right, yeah. I don't get a chance to check.
Yeah, I understand. Sorry
Email
about that.
same day,
Try to
yep.
get it out sooner, but.
Okay.
Did you
I
send
had
it out?
election day off, so I'm sorry
Oh,
about that.
yeah, Joan was out yesterday, so.
All right.
Plus, we tried to combine all three reports from all the staff so that it's all in one report instead of three different reports.
Mhm.
So,
So you do have it in your inbox, Rini, sorry about that.
Yep, thank you.
Tried to get it out the night before, but I was a little preoccupied last night.
Yes, I know
My
you were.
apologies.
and are you congratulating you two because you got elected to something? Janet?
Me? Housing. authority.
Congratulations.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We actually have another member too, which we're up to 4 people now on our 5-person board, so that's great. So, okay, moving right along. Joan, I'll turn the wand over to you.
Okay, so we've been, had a very busy month, even though the senior center's closed, the office has been very busy. We're still getting upwards of 100 calls, and people are still coming, even though we're not allowed to let them in. They make it as far as the door usually, and we meet in the parking lot, or some do get in. But we've been having to give out durable medical equipment, and this is a busy month with farmers market coupons. Did a visit to Southampton Meadows. The Shine counselor still, we're in contact with her for our folks. Attending meetings again in the parking lot or at a table outside the door for the Highland Valley grant, which I personally thank the group, which 3 of you are here. So Janet and Laurie and Yvonne, I appreciate all the help with that. We were able to submit our invoice for our multiple items, which will be beneficial to keeping people informed. We're going to be having, we have 4 or 6 tablets, we have a new laptop, and we have some air purifiers. We have quite an ensemble of things that we have to get working and out into the community so that we can keep folks involved.
Joan, can I ask you, so number 7, where it says Richard is driving for Hadley Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then it says that Could people, there's some noise in the background. I don't know where it's from, but
That's me sneezing, sorry.
Oh. You can just mute Yvonne if you want and then come back in or whatever, but
Not a
I didn't
bad
know who
idea.
it was. I just heard noises. So Ken drives Tuesday, Thursday. I thought he was driving Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
That's correct. He's driving the days that, Richard, I'll correct that.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure there wasn't any change.
Ken is driving the days that Richard is not plus Friday.
Right, okay. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So, okay, good.
Right.
Who's driving Monday, Wednesday, Friday?
Ken Cole, C-O-L-E.
Oh, okay. So it should be Ken, okay.
So actually, Richard drives Tuesdays and Thursdays.
That's correct.
So now, will they be coming back? Is this instead of or taking over for driving for us?
Correct.
Yeah, Richard got a job, another job, which is, his prerogative, of course. And we have Ken, so we're actually have 2 true part-time drivers. So,
Okay, so they're continuing to work for us. It's just these other days they're working somewhere else.
yes.
Okay.
Okay. And then in addition to that, I know at the last PPPB meeting, they approved a true, and Jim, don't comment, backup driver for if those people are, he does go forward as well. And, but, so Tim Huber, I think is going to go in front of the select board, probably at the next select board meeting. So it hasn't been finalized yet, but it's moving through the process, right?
Does he physically have to be there, or just you mean his application?
His application will go to the select board, I believe, at their next meeting.
Okay.
Okay?
Right, they're Zooming anyway. So, yes.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's on the agenda.
Good. I knew it was moving that way. Okay. Anything else that jumps out? So we talked about the grant. So you want to give Darlene a minute to talk about her
That would be awesome.
activities?
She's prepared, sure.
Hi. Well, currently I'm working on updating the database in my senior center. As you see, that's always ongoing. And Joan has just given me another project to document in my senior center and then I can never say that word, ethnicity.
Ethnicity.
I forget it.
I
can't say that word. Anyways, I know what it is, but I can't say the word. So I'm updating that in my senior center, and I'm currently working networking with Dawn, the activity director from Easthampton Council of Aging, and we got a few good ideas. She told me what they put in their care and go bags and what they distributed. I mean, we don't have the funds that they had, but she gave me some ideas that we could put in our bag. I've sent an email to Joan regarding mask and granola bars that you can order from Costco's really cheap, or Amazon. I've done 4 diamond paintings by Zoom.
And I will just vouch for one of them. That was very good.
That was a class you did.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you,
okay.
Josie, yes. Apparently there's a lot of interest. In fact, Dawn from the Easthampton Council on Aging has requested for me to do a class for her. So I'll be doing that on my own time. So yeah, it's been a lot of interest lately.
Great.
And I'm always updating the last presenting differences that are taking place in my Zoom 7 and 11 seniors that are signing in and time days. And you know how sometimes you have a gut feeling on something? Well, that gut feeling actually paid off. I called the senior center about 3:45, I think it was, and someone had called at 3:30, which Joan closes at actually at 3 o'clock, but they needed a ride. Their appointment changed for the next day. They needed a ride to get to the hospital by 6 o'clock in the morning. So I had to call Ken and arrange that, so that worked out well. And then we were in touch all weekend long. Poor Ken was calling me on Saturday to let me know that the lady had stayed in the hospital. They wouldn't release her. And then he was supposed to pick her up the next day. That didn't work out. She ended up going to another hospital, and now she's in rehab. So one thing led to the next. So it was a challenge. It seems like every time that I cover for Joan, something happens, but it's okay. I worked it out.
You rise to the occasion. Thank you.
Yeah, excellent.
Yes. And I just want to say that one of the instructors for line dancing said that Southampton is a small town, but we are really noted for all of our activities that we're doing. We are doing so much more than the bigger cities. So she said
Wow.
that we're doing an excellent job at Southampton.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
Joan, I'm
people-
patting you on the back, Joan and Darlene.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
If I can just
Nice job.
intercede for a moment, she's also working with me, Lori. We're trying to get bingo covered in some way. So that's another ongoing project for Darlene.
Yes.
But Darlene and I, in a conversation, we're talking about, because we know Joan is inundated, as you can see by her report. You know, when you're dealing with 100 phone calls in a month and you're trying to do your regular job on limited hours, of transferring the phone to Darlene's residence. It can easily be done. I know people do it all the time.
Darlene, I already figured it out. We're going to try it Tuesday.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, so I went online and I looked it up, and it's so simple. And I don't know if I sent it to Joan, but we talked about it. So we're gonna work on that. And also, I've got 4 people right now that are in line to play bingo by Zoom.
Oh, good.
So
Good.
we're on our way.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody have any questions for Darlene?
Great job.
Good job, very nice, very nice, thank you.
Thank you.
The one thing I want to make sure you recommend is if you forward the phone to you, that after hours, you make sure you unforward it so you're not getting calls in the middle of the night or something.
Well, that's it. I told her that. And on Tuesday, she hosts line dancing. So by 12:30, I'd have to take over the phone calls, which is
Okay.
not a problem. But
All right.
at least it'll give me a space of time,
Mhm.
not interrupted.
Yeah, that'll be great, good, good. Okay, and Flo's not here, right? But,
Right. But she's staying busy, very involved with the Friends group, very involved with the group that Yvonne meets with on Thursdays. And I know she has quite a few people that she calls, and she's able to track it and put it in my senior center. She has the same ability that Darlene has. So our numbers are probably better than they were when the center was open, because we were so busy, people coming and going. So now, you know, the numbers are truer because I'm sure a lot of the attendance and things get put in, you know, pretty quickly.
and Darlene, what I talked about with Joan is like after pickleball, like I do a whole attendance thing for 4 weeks, and then I'll send it to you directly instead of going to Joan to go to you.
That's fine.
Okay?
Yep, that's fine.
We
Yep.
can do that with Tai Chi as well.
Yep.
So I usually take a picture at the end of the week and send it on, so.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right, anybody else let me close that out. Anybody else with questions?
Nancy made it.
Yay, Nancy.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, we already did the treasurer's report, Nancy.
That would be okay.
Hi.
And thank you for the donation. That's really appreciated.
Funny.
Okay,
Very
great. All right,
funny.
thank you, Joan, for your report, and Darlene and Flo's part too. It just really gives us a good perspective of how much we're covering even when the building's not open. And it's great feedback to hear that we're doing a lot. I mean, I think a lot of the
Yes.
classes, the walking classes, Yvonne's very active in the walking. So we're all kind of covering a lot of things outside of
I had a lady call me from Northampton, and she said they're doing next to nothing, and she wanted to be hooked up to the chair yoga. So I put her in our senior center with the card and everything. She gave me her senior center number, and I put her in our system because she's doing chair yoga.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, we have people from Hadley doing
Yep.
pickleball, people from Northampton do it because that's not being
Yeah.
offered through and they re-register them in our center, so they become members of of the COA in Southampton, and you know, we're open to whoever is available, just as their centers are. So, okay, so Nancy, we get to do your favorite thing now. Josie's favorite thing, I should say.
Oh, it's definitely my favorite thing nowadays. Since Nancy took over. Loving it.
Okay, so Nancy, I did make one modification because Joan sent us a number for the expense, the town expense over here, the 15541.700. This year's budget is 122962 that was passed in August.
Okay.
Okay,
Where's that, please?
if you look at,
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah,
Under
right,
town expense?
yes.
Okay.
It's town,
thank you.
yeah. So you want to, everybody saw the expense report already, but are there any questions? Comments?
No, no questions.
Oh, good job.
So just scroll down a little bit more toward the bottom here. And the condition of accounts report, you've got May 31st.
Oh, yeah.
And-
Just change those dates.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you probably would, you know, it might be good just to hide all of those or many of those columns, say from December or something down, just to get them out of the.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Yep.
The lines, the line side, or, yeah.
Yeah. You just got to remember to, that the year doesn't end at the end of the year.
And we just got, I think, was it today, Vicky's report from the end of August, so we weren't able to fill in. We don't usually, we use that for comparison to our numbers, so we can start filling those in based on the report that we just received. So we can work on that between now and the next meeting.
Yeah.
But I think the budgets are pretty much in line. Nothing really changed except the town expense line. So any
So
other?
how are you feeling about doing it, Nancy?
Still not quite sure what I'm doing, so just kind of muddling through.
Well, feel free. You can still, you know, contact me.
Thank
Text me
you.
or something if you need me.
But
I
yeah,
will.
it's good. I mean, Joan's in good communication with Nancy and vice versa. You know what that's like, Josie. And
Yep.
since all the percentages for FRIT are kind of, the overhead has been set up and everything, that helps, I think, a lot. So.
Now, I didn't happen to notice, are you putting in all the comments?
Yeah, trying to. Yeah.
Good.
Do you want me to go through, you have that on your computer, Josie, or no? Do you want me to?
Well, to be honest, I haven't looked at it. It's probably there, but
That was though, Josie, what you were saying, that was one of the questions was the expense for Frida and all that stuff, where you put that when Joan gets, you know, gas and things like that.
yeah, well, I just tuck it in there, you know, make a note in the comments and then just add it in the,
In the negative
yeah, it's a
expense.
in the expense line, right,
Okay.
right. But that looks good.
Okay.
Excellent.
So we are paying right now, for example, all of our instructors, instead of charging the seniors at this point, we're actually paying it from the, pretty much from the state formula grant, right, Joan? For all
Correct.
the instructors.
Right. I'm not sure how long that will be. We may have to institute a payment system in the, within a month or two.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's a little bit harder when it's remote to collect money. When you're on Zoom, makes it a little more challenging.
Right. So as long as we can, we'll be glad to do that.
Okay.
Mind just clicking on the show more in the comment section?
Down here?
Yeah. Great. I don't think I ever had to do that. So that's good.
Yeah, there's a lot of instructors, I think, probably. And
Yeah. Excellent.
Good.
Thanks, Nancy.
So do we have a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
So moved.
Motion to approve the treasurer's report?
I think
And
I
I'll
heard
second it.
Jim said it first, and maybe
No problem?
I maybe we'll have to raise her hand. Then Josie did the second, so.
Okay.
Or
Yvonne, are you working in the dark?
You're- She's incognito today.
I can hardly see you.
I know it does look, here, let me at least open the curtain and back.
I didn't know if there was a reason, so I didn't want to.
I don't know if that's much help.
Well, it's
Sure.
it's good to know
Well,
that there's something behind
You're
that.
silhouette anyway now. Okay. Next on the agenda.
Do we say aye?
All in favor?
Aye.
Excuse me.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah.
Any abstentions? Okay, great. Thank you, Jim. Keep me honest.
What I'm here for.
Okay, Kay, do you have any updates from the Friends? I know we were talking
Yes,
about.
I attended their meeting. They had a meeting on Wednesday, August 12th at Conan Park, and there were 11 members present. And they had a treasurer's report. They have a balance in their treasury of $11,399.28 at the end of July. And they were talking about putting together the care packs, which is something they're going to do this month, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Kay, can I just ask somebody, for everybody else that's on the board that maybe isn't familiar with the care bags, can somebody, either Joan or yourself or whomever, explain what that is? Or Darlene? Did she leave us? Yes.
Okay, do
Well,
you
there's gonna-
feel comfortable? Go ahead.
well, I have what they put down in their minutes. There will be like a bag or something, and the items they're going to include are lip balm, hand lotion, Kleenex, masks, and any other items which can be added. And the Friends voted and approved a donation of $500 for this project.
Okay, and how does the care bags get advertised, delivered? Joan, can
That they're working on. I'm not sure how they're going to do it now. I think they're going to have something. I got something. I don't know if it's an email from Andrea that next September 10th they're going to have some kind of a meeting of putting the packages together. But I don't think they've decided how they're going to. I haven't heard how they're going to deliver it or how that's going to work out yet.
Joan, do you have any additional info for that?
So Easthampton had a grab and go where it was set up in the parking lot, and people came and got them at a certain time. We'd have to advertise, and the rest were delivered by their van drivers. And I did ask. I spoke with Ken today, and I'm sure Richard would be in agreement that they could deliver those if there were. And we're doing 50. Originally, we thought 100, but I think we're going to do 50, and so hopefully we'll reach that many people.
Who is they intended for?
So it actually could be any senior, it doesn't have to be, designated. I can count the ones that are either at Southampton Meadows or someplace where we feel that, they could really use them. I think many already have masks and have hand sanitizer and things like that, but this is an extra because the center's not open. We want to do some outreach. So there was no designation at this time. I don't know, should there be? I think that's kind of hard. It's the first 50 people that show up. I don't know that. How did the church do it? But people who showed up.
You mean for?
Oh, yeah, I think Easthampton did it, and there wasn't any designation of who could receive it, I don't think.
Yeah, the masks, we just did it. Anybody who came for, we had the 1 hour a week. So anybody who showed up, we gave them masks, however many they needed for their family.
But for this, we're really concentrating on Southampton seniors,
Yeah.
right?
Definitely Southampton. One thing I think Easthampton did is took a list. You had to call in and say, I want to be on the list. So maybe the first 50 people who call in or say, yes, I want one, maybe we'll, I haven't really talked about the distribution with the Friends group yet.
Well, how many stay-at-homes do we have? People that cannot get out. We talked about delivering to them.
The only people I have lists for are mostly the FRTA transportation people. I don't have necessarily people that are shut in or can't get out. Then
what you were talking about, Joan, just making a list makes more sense. Because if I was a shut-in, I would know enough to call you and say, I'm a shut-in. Can you get me a bag?
Maybe I could work with Darlene and Flo. They've been doing a lot of outreach. Maybe they could, spearhead that, make some calls, tell the folks that they think could really use it, call them and say, this is what we have to offer. Are you interested in getting one? Maybe Darlene and Flo could work on that.
I'm looking at your new email with the items that you're going to include, and I like the activity book.
Yeah, why don't you read down through that, Lori? Can you read down through the whole list?
Can I read?
Would you mind reading down through the whole list?
Thrilled. 50 paper bags, 50 masks, which the COA has, 50 sanitizers, which the COA has, 50 tissue packages, which again the COA has, lip balm, so that needs to be purchased, I assume.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The newsletter, Andrea has those. Disaster preparedness book, which the COA has. An activity book of some type. And then Nature Valley granola bar. And the last item was another snack, so if anybody's got an idea, something maybe with a little protein.
So can I ask a question of whomever? If the Friends donated $500, I just rather not deplete what we have in stock if there's certain things that we could buy in addition to what we have in stock. So we may have 50 masks, but can we afford to give up 50? So if they were so generous to give us $500 towards this project, let's take advantage of that.
I agree.
Oh, and it's easy to order. Even Amazon has them now. A quantity of 50 or 25
different masks and stuff. Yeah.
So when you say you're going to give them out, you mean we may have in our possession 50 masks, but we'd be giving out one to each person?
One in each bag.
Bags? Okay.
One in each bag?
Right.
Are these disposable masks?
So the ones that we have right now, we got from Cooley Dickinson. They're cloth, they're ties. They're not the disposable ones are what I think we're talking about possibly getting to add to it.
Because just a disposable mask won't last you very long.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are washable cloth ones?
Yeah, I would stay away from them. My personal opinion, and it'd be to stay away from the disposable ones that are a one-time usage. If we're trying to get some mileage out of and support people.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, and
You know what?
the tie backs are difficult,
Pardon?
but the ones that tie in the back.
Well, actually, once you get used to them, because you can tie them one time and then you don't have to necessarily untie them each time.
Oh, I never
You
thought
fit
of
them to
that.
yourself. And they can be tied around the back and, just at the neck if you want. And then, but when you're done, you just pull it down or take it off. You might have to tie behind their neck, but you don't have to do it all. Or tie behind the ears. And then they're
tied.
once and they're easy to get off and on.
Okay, well, we'll look at what we have for supplies, and if we have to order some to fill in, we can do that.
Okay. And if we need something that's a little bit higher quality, I'm sure we could talk to the friends and ask for another $100 or something. I mean, they've got $11,000 for God's sakes. We can't build a new building for that, but we can maybe. And they're very generous, so. Okay,
I'll
that's a
work
great
with-
idea.
Yeah, I'll talk with Francine and Andrea, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay. Yeah. Do we have a lot of the email addresses in the system in the My Senior Center?
I would say not a lot. Today, when I had to do the Tai Chi group, there was, I believe, 12 out of 26. So maybe only half the ones, and maybe because they don't have email. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I know I sent you an email and I noticed a couple people were missing, and I know they have email.
Okay, so that's what Darlene is working on updating.
Okay.
So they may have written it down somewhere, like today Karen gave us hers. So, it'll be in tomorrow. Plus we have to check her in as a member. So, as a Tai Chi participant. So there's a couple steps that have to be done for them to get on the list. And some of the emails weren't complete, like they were at, and there was no last 3 lines. So we do have to check the data and complete it.
Okay, in order to reach the 26 people about Monday, do we have their phone numbers that Darlene
We
or
have their
whoever's
phone
working?
numbers. I can do a robocall tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I want to make sure that Glenn shows up and at least, 5 people are there or something, so. Okay, great.
And you
thanks.
may have seen too that October, there's a holiday as well, Columbus Day.
Yeah,
So, and then it's gonna get
Indigenous
cold.
Peoples Day,
What's that?
Indigenous Peoples Day or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, I apologize. Yes, that got changed.
It hasn't been changed officially?
not officially, no,
Oh,
to my knowledge.
Working on it, I guess.
But there is a holiday on that Monday in October.
yeah, good.
Okay, all right. So, great, thanks. Thanks, Kay, for your update. Anything else that you had to add for the Friends?
No, that was about it. They had, like, they're going to have a meeting on September 10th.
Okay.
Oh, and a luncheon that goes with that.
Oh, okay.
Did you miss that part of the meeting?
Oh, they talked about it, yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's not a big luncheon, it's for the people that are working on it.
No, yeah.
Yep.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's not our topic, so we're going to move on from that. Anything else then, Kay?
That's it, I think.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, the CARES Fund, I know we talked a little bit about it, Joan, in your director's report. So we're set, we're waiting to hear back from them because I know we added some things. They gave us the full $3,500. We had only looked at like $2,500, so we added some things. So they're asking Joan for the justification for the additional items so they can justify it to the federal government. So that's fine. That Joan did today, so that should take care of that. But Anything else? And the Town Cares Act Fund, we're also kind of working through Ed on that, right, Joan?
Right.
We
And
get
if I don't get to it this week, I promise I will get to it next week.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's designated for things like some signage, like the floor for 6 feet apart, and hand sanitizer stations that are more mobile, and more, if we need more plexiglass for protection.
Do you need any input about signage for the floor and things like that? Because floor signage, floor decals can be really difficult for some folks, especially if you have vision or any kind of dementia. It could feel like you're stepping into a hole, things like that. So
Okay.
just things to think about there.
We haven't discussed it yet. I know the town clerk used it for the voting. So there is some in the building.
But we need to, Nancy makes a good point. I mean, the things we have to be sensitive to are maybe a little things that we wouldn't think about for voting. So yeah, Nancy, any feedback that or thoughts that you can send on to Joan, that would be great.
Yeah, it'd be good for voting too, because I bet there are people with vision issues who vote.
Yeah, it's good feedback for them as well.
Yeah.
Nancy, just from my notes, are there ways of avoiding those hazards for people with disabilities?
Yeah, you can do things on the wall to make sure
I
people
see.
know.
Okay.
That can get really disorienting too, you know. It's just sometimes if you have a lot of things on the wall, it just gets.
I'm always going the wrong way at Big Y.
Yeah,
So,
just things to think about, to do it with some thought before putting things down.
Ordering a bunch of stuff, right?
Good.
Yeah.
I just wanted to explain it in minutes. Thanks.
Sure.
Okay, and so the next thing, I don't know, Joan, you want to give us an update on the state annual report?
Yes. So I had the pleasure of talking with Mr. Emmett Schmarzov today. I sent a late email just to clarify. Annually, what we have to do for the formula grant is send a balance, which comes from the accounting department, of what we spent for last year's. We also have to make a budget for next year's, for this year, and get signatures from the select board, et cetera, and there's also an annual report. So I did hear today, and I have heard the conversation, that they are not requiring a balance. They are not even requiring a budget, if you can believe it, because I think the whole budget system is in flux. And the Council on Aging, the formula grant, I'm hoping will continue as a mainstay, because that is what we pay our staff and our program.
Most of our expenses, yeah.
Most of our expenses are coming from the formula grant, but it's in flux right now because the senior centers are closed. And even though the Council on Aging office is open, I'm not sure that the credibility, accountability they feel is there. So anyway, they're not requiring a budget this year. So that's different.
Whoa. Whew.
Like a bird.
Or next year, the year after, it sounds like. So, but how do we know what monies that we have to spend then?
So Mr. Schmauzo has 2 months to retirement, and I think he'll be glad to answer any questions. It's all the things that have been built up in the last 45 years for the Council on Aging it's just a new world, and we don't know some things. We don't know budget. I'll be in closer contact with MCOA because they're right out of Easthampton. They may have the latest and greatest of what we need to know. I know many grants are 3-year grants, so you don't have to do it every year. So when I was perusing the Executive Office of Elder Affairs website today, they were talking about, Title II grants and things that were 3 years. So maybe we'll be looking at something like that, where it'll be the 3-year commitment. I'm not sure. But as soon as I know, I'll be glad to share that information.
Yeah, I guess I need to know we're spending money based on,
last
an
year's numbers.
expectation.
Right.
So we just need to have some kind of guidelines or guidance from them that we're going to get reimbursed for some of what we're spending then.
Correct. And after the conversation with him, we chuckled about it. I just can't believe it because it's something that I've been doing for the last 23 years. Well, at least the last 15 years anyway. And to not require a budget, it seemed a little ridiculous, but it may be just they're going to go to a different system. Even the formula, even the annual report, which is something that is required, he didn't give much credence to. I mean, it's important for us to see what we've done and where we're going, but this has been such an unusual year. So, the deadlines of August 15th and all that have all been extended. So there will be a report given and will be sent to somebody or someone at the state executive office, but they were not pushing it because of the unusual circumstances.
So, Joan, we really don't know if we have money at all for this coming year?
I don't want to say that we don't have money. I don't want to say that we do have money.
We don't know.
Have clarification, right?
Yeah, Jim's question was, we don't know if we have money.
Correct.
So can we ask Emmett to provide something to us in writing as far as we spend money that at least the select board and the town administrator have a confidence that, as we spend down against our grant monies, that we will be reimbursed to some degree?
I will send that email first thing in the morning.
Otherwise, we may have to start charging for our classes immediately.
I will send that first thing in the morning.
Okay.
And to whom were you going to send that email?
You want to explain who Emmett is? Because, we have some new folks on the board that may not know who Emmett is.
So, I don't know his exact title because I'm not looking at his email, but he has been spearheading the grants and in Boston for the Council on Aging for over 30 years. And he is the go-to guy. Janet's met him. He held classes on how to write grants or how to fill out formula, the formula grant requests. And so he's the person too, but if he's retiring, I'm not sure. I said his shoes are too big to fill. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
But I said, I was glad for him to be exiting at this strange time because everything I think is on the verge of change.
So they're not requiring us to send name. I'm sorry.
How do you spell his last name, Joan?
SCHARMSOW.
Thank you.
Very good. I know you sent them an email.
And he called me on the phone.
Yeah, so that's how he responded. He called you back. And does everybody understand what EOEA is? The Executive Office of Elder Affairs. And that's where we get the state formula grant. That's this part of Massachusetts state government. So he didn't answer. Maybe you could just ask him, since you already sent a very detailed email to him, if he could respond in writing of some sort, because, again, as we spend monies, we need, and I'm sure it's probably great we're doing a lot of activities, but not if we're not going to have any state funds, which I would find very unusual that we would.
Janet, how would you record what you're asking for? A written assurance that we're going to have at least some money? Is that it?
Well, yes, Joan sent a very detailed email, and maybe she can forward that to the board just so they have it. I just
wanted to record it correctly in the
and then you can probably pull from there, Jim, what the various questions, at the end of the year, we're supposed to spend down our funding from the previous year, and then we get, right now, in the past, $12 per senior from the state, and that's based on the 2010 census. So here we are in the middle of the 2020 census and the COVID. So things are really kind of
I understand, but
in change. So what we want to know is just to get some kind of reassurance that there will be some funding as we continue to run the center and run remote programs and run outdoor programs, that we have some sort of funding coming.
So I'm not sure if you're aware, but the regional directors have been meeting, if not every week, every other week. And a lot of this discussion has happened. They meet on Fridays, so I haven't been involved with it very much. But these same questions have been asked. So I do read I'm on the email link, so I keep seeing the answers. So this discussion has already come up. There may be an answer out there, but I will make sure I go right to Emmett and get it in writing.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm sure we're not the only people that making sure we're getting, reimbursed for. And I think if that was their intent, not to have any money for the seniors, that would have been clearly communicated in some format. So, okay.
Because the FY21 budget, has that passed yet, do you know, at the state level?
I thought it had, but I don't know. I'd have to.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I mean, I'll find out.
Check.
But as they say, it's a grant. And for years, they've been saying, what if the grant goes away? So I hope this isn't the time that the grant goes away.
Okay. That makes all of us. Right?
Right.
A little nervous, yeah, a little nervous.
Okay. I'm just looking at for operating FY and previous for MassGov, so. Yeah, let me double check on it. I think we'll get you an answer on that. I believe. Rini, do you know?
Sorry, I was just unmuting. No, I don't.
No, you don't. Okay, okay. All right, good. So we talked about the third driver that we're going to get, and again, that should be on the next select board meeting. And then we've been talking about, those of us who look at the funds that we do have to spend, how to create some type of reception area at the center, so that when people walk in the door, that there's a person there protected when this comes about, and maybe even before that, to create a reception area so that one of the other office people, Darlene and or Flo, have a place that they can go to safely that's not in that very tight office, which is outside of doesn't meet the requirements of space to have two people in that office. So we're going to be looking into that and see. I mean, of course, to purchase a reception desk is probably $1,000 to $1,500. So knowing that we may or may not have a state formula grant budget to spend, it's not quite capital expenses. So we just have to figure out how we can do that and create a safe space for another person in the office.
Can I make a suggestion about that?
Sure.
Yeah, so don't forget, with the first round of the CARES Act funding, the fire department got an administrative assistant and also a desk for that person. So because primarily COVID, I would think that this might be a good thing to add to the CARES Act second round funding.
Okay, I can check in that. I'm going to check my emails. I thought I had mentioned it to Ed, so let me double check my email streams back and forth to him, because that would be my first go-to, but for some reason I thought I got pushback on that, but I didn't realize they bought a desk for the receptionist at the fire department. So
yeah, and the other thing is there is a committee that's forming for it's 6 months to a year to look at NEMA, FEMA, CARES Act. Really the funds become available when there's a crisis like this, just like after 9/11, there was all kinds of, that's how all these people got all their public safety complexes after 9/11. Right. So this is the time to look for funding. So there's a committee that's being put together. So far, it's Charlie Kinnicky, Chris Fowles, Matt Rowland, and I'm just trying to think of who the other person was.
How can you get on that committee?
Oh, so you should, yeah. I think what would happen was this only happened at the last select board meeting last week. There was some talk about whether Capital would expand their role, and because they do kind of take requests from various departments for capital funds, and so they thought during this time of high possible funding for things that the Capital Committee would be a logical committee to take on this role. But when the select board talked about it, we decided that would involve changing the bylaws of Capital, and the suggestion was made without even talking to the Capital Committee and blah, blah, blah. So then the decision was to actually form a committee, and Chris Fowles has experience with funding. Matt Rowland was one of the drivers, and then Charlie Kanicki. Was there anybody else? Does anybody know?
I don't remember anybody else.
I thought there were 4 people. Oh, Ed Gibson. So
Right.
actually, I would just reach out to Ed Gibson and tell him that you have an interest in being on.
I have an interest in forwarding a new Board of Health member who was great at getting funding and resources for us at Mercy Life. Kate Swistack would be really fantastic for the town.
Yeah. Well, I would definitely forward her name over, and I'm hoping that this foursome was going to meet like really soon, because one of the things that they didn't want to do is to wait too long, and they thought that I said starting a ad hoc committee would be a lot faster than trying to change the bylaws and have it approved by the lawyer in the town meeting. So anyway, I'm hoping that this was, going to happen right away. So Ed would be the point person, and if that committee hasn't met, then it really should meet soon. And they were going to recruit new members.
So great. Let Kate know, Nancy, and if it's something she wants to tackle, it sounds like a perfect addition.
Yeah, it'd be nice if somebody from the Council on Aging could keep our voice in there too.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Chris, I think she's pretty in tune with a lot of things we're trying to do as well. And
okay, good.
Somebody like Kate. But if anybody else that you know of from this Council on Aging, I did get appointed by the Select Board to the Capital Improvement Committee recently, but that's for the larger purchases. So we'd love to have somebody make sure that, yes, our senior needs are addressed.
And Kate who? His last name?
Swistack. She's the new Board of Health member.
Oh, good.
Can we go back to the entranceway for a moment?
Sure.
So we were kind of thinking outside the box, and Yvonne has a little background in architect or design, and we talked about possibly even doing some kind of a slide window or something into the office, or some major things, but we would have to have an architect or somebody who understands design to come in and give us some suggestions. I have not been successful in getting somebody to answer that. I had a couple contacts given to me from Westfield Council on Aging, and I Googled one with no answer. So, but we have a small space, but if we could have some direction on how to use that space, that would be helpful.
Could I suggest South Hadley is in the process. They've closed down their old senior center because they're building a new one. They might have a suggestion. And was it Granby that built a new center within the last few years? And they're a small town.
Yeah, well, Hadley just built a new one too.
Yeah, but they're larger.
Where Richard's working, and she invited us to come and see it. So I'm
please.
Yeah.
Bring the Kleenex.
Okay.
Yeah, Hadley just changed their senior center. Their senior center director, and the person in South Hadley is Leslie Hennessy, and she's wonderful.
Oh, thank you, Rini.
Okay, great. That's why we have this board. Great minds. Excellent. Okay, good. Anything else? I don't know that there's any more updates on reopening. I think we're probably not going to see it in this calendar year. But I think the current remote classes, as we've discussed, have been working really great.
Janet, there is the possibility, and it may be my overreaching, but there might be a possibility of reopening in a limited way. I mean, I had just read the email from Edwards Library this morning, and I believe it's around the end of September that they're beginning to open the library on Wednesdays for 4 hours for people to actually come in the library. Now, they're limiting the number of people. They're limiting that you come in and you have 15 minutes. You can't exactly, there's no computers available. There's no sitting available, but you can definitely get books and stuff, and the staff will get it for you. So I'm not beyond hope. It's not hopeless hope, but it sounds like that there is the possibility that we just may open. We just may do it.
Yeah.
So I've had that discussion with our public health agent. Because we're part of the municipal, we're part of the town hall.
Yep.
It doesn't look likely.
Okay.
I don't know if the library, because they're a separate building.
Right.
But they did open for voting though, so.
Yeah.
I don't want to, overstate it, but as a trustee at the library, the amount of people allowed in at any one time is very small. I think
it's limited.
2 to 4, because so many areas are off limits.
Right.
And then, so when you add in the staff from the library and then members of the public, in order to maintain the limits,
right,
it's a very, very restricted admission.
Well, like I said, it may be hopeless hope, but
there's always hope. Without hope, where would we be?
And we're doing okay while the weather's good. We can continue these outside visits at the park, which are lovely. They're much nicer than being at the center, to tell you the truth. But when it gets chilly, we'll really want to come indoors. So I was hoping for like foot care, one-on-one, that kind of thing, because it's a nurse who does, and she's always had precautions since she's been coming there, for hygiene and everything. But I don't know. It doesn't look likely. I'm hearing February from other centers.
Wow.
And I heard from 2 medical people, and they're saying their offices won't be open before March. So we're definitely looking at 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely need to be creative. I mean, it's one thing to go in the library, a couple people to find a book in all the various, space that they have. Our long, narrow, I'm not sure what activity we could, have 4 people in for coffee or something. I'm not sure that how conducive it'll be that by design. But
Karen, hi, excuse me for interrupting.
Sure,
I need to leave the meeting, but I want to thank all of you. I'm so impressed with the efforts and the energy and the work that you people do. And sitting in and listening to all these activities and all the ideas, thank you. Just thank you for everything that you do. And I look forward to learning more. And I dropped my form off, as Joan said today, and maybe working with you to brainstorm. I know Joan and I were talking about outdoor things, and she had a great idea of perhaps making a list and seeing what the interest was. So I thank you for that idea, Joan. I thought that was great. But I need to leave, so I just have to sign off and say thank you so much.
Okay, Karen, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much. I hope I do this right now. Leave them. All right, thank you.
Bye-bye. So I'm trying to get her on as an alternate, you guys. You know that, right? So.
That sounded optimistic.
Yeah.
She's got some great ideas, and so I was glad that she agreed to join today, was interested in joining today. So reopening. I guess there's nothing much to talk about at this point, but yeah, like Joan said, she got kind of a pushback. We're not open to the public, right, Joan, when you talked about having foot care come in and one-on-one, and you got some pushback on that. So
Right, so I have to abide by, whatever the decisions are, but we'll see.
Yep. We have to put on our thinking caps between now and
There was
November.
a form she gave me, I think when the restaurants were starting to reopen, there's a form I've got to find that you have to complete before they'll even think about reopening, so.
Yeah, I think she gave me a copy of it at the same time, Joan, so it's pretty detailed.
Well, it is really nice to get the feedback, and I honestly don't remember who gave it, but from the other sites or COAs that you're doing so good.
Yeah.
And that's really great. So thank you, Joan, for.
Yes.
And thank Janet. Janet's been doing pickleball, and Nancy, and they've been doing the Tai Chi. I mean, I couldn't be doing all of that without the volunteers, and I really kudos to Janet and to others who are, and Yvonne, who are continuing this. Yes, continuing this. I find this week I kind of broke down as that I really can't do more than I'm doing. So I'm glad that there are volunteers that are stepping up and doing a lot more than I can do by myself.
Yeah.
You are only one person.
Yes, and it's good
A lot of hats, but only one person.
But we're very fortunate that we have Darlene and Flo supporting you, and it's great if you can forward the phones and try to free up your time, because a phone call with, as somebody said the other day, a phone call with a senior is not a 2-minute phone call.
Oh, God, no.
And they don't necessarily call in to just check what time something's happening. They just really want to talk to somebody, and it's very time consuming, and Darlene and Flo are both great at that as well. So that's good to know. So I don't see, other than Karen, and she signed off, any other open time for the public. I don't see anybody from the public here. Is anybody else anything to add that we haven't covered today?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay, so I think we're going to be minus Lori next month. So we could just cancel October.
Or we could all go down to Naples.
Or we
Where
could
are you
meet
going, Lori?
Please, I want to go. I love Naples.
I'll just tell the kid everybody's coming.
I don't understand why you can't call in from Naples myself.
I'll be on the plane.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought about that. I thought, I can Zoom in. I can go to the meeting. Then I thought, no, you're on the plane that day.
That wouldn't work. But October 7th is the 4 o'clock. How's the 4 o'clock going for everybody?
Fine. It's me.
I made it.
It's working out okay?
Works for me.
Okay.
Okay, for me too.
Okay, good. I know. I think it was at 3:30. I was like, boy, I wish that meeting was at 9:30 this morning. It'd be over with. Okay, so 4 o'clock on October 7th. Anything else before we adjourn? Any final passing thoughts
Oh, just congratulations to you and Jim.
on our appointments?
Oh, thank you.
Nice to have board members as part of government.
So what are you in, Jim? What's your position? I know I voted for you, but I don't remember what the position was.
Library trustee.
Oh, okay. Right.
So don't go messing around with the books.
And Joan, what about Ken? Wasn't he Ken Cole?
You're right, thank you. He's on the finance committee.
Ran for 1-year finance opening, yes.
Oh, fantastic. Good.
That's good.
And I understand you've got another person for assessors, right, Janet?
Yes, we do. So we can, adjourn the meeting and continue this conversation under not recording. So I'm going to make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a motion?
I'll second.
So moved.
Go ahead.
Jim and Yvonne. Okay, so moved, and